Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills in order to help you level up your way with words. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to learn impromptu speaking skills. So if you're looking for certain strategies or tactics, I'm going to link two of my past videos on string and pearls technique and the basketball technique for impromptu speaking skills in the description box right on below. This video is not going to cover the strategy and the tactic. It's going to talk about how to learn it. What sort of environment are you creating for yourself so you can apply these two strategies and you can be consistent with this act? But you may be wondering, impromptu speaking skills? I'm not trying to be some sort of entertainer. Why would I need to incorporate this sort of skill set into my life? Here's the reason why. In June 2018, I was starting the Armani Talks Twitter page. And this was a Twitter page where I was documenting a lot of my insights with Toastmasters on the page. I was creating tweets in regards to a lot of the lessons that I was learning. And this was my second time doing the Toastmaster process. At this point, Toastmasters, which is a global public speaking club, had reinvented itself. It was now following a thing called the Pathways program. So I thought it would be cool to allow other people to follow my journey. As I was working on the Armani Talks Twitter page, eventually I started to get different DMs from different people who were asking me for assistance in their speeches. That's when I started to see that this whole Armani Talks Twitter page was more than a hobby. It was actually able to be turned into a business. So eventually I started to see how to run a consulting practice. I talked to a few different people with consulting practices, and they were like, Armani, you got to give away a free consulting session so you could see who is interested. You could do some market research, and from there, you could find different people that you can work with. That's what I did. Now imagine my surprise where only a fraction of the people that were hitting me up were fearing public speaking, standing up, while most of them were fearing public speaking, sitting down. And what this means is that the fear of public speaking, standing up, this is when you're giving a best man speech in front of a huge audience. It's when you're speaking in a conference. It's when you're doing a work presentation. All moments when you are standing up and there's a crowd looking at you. This scenario was not the most common type of issue that I was facing from all these different clients. Instead, the average person that was hitting me up was like, listen, man, I don't really have a problem with the best man speech. But the problem that I'm having is that when I'm in a work meeting and my manager just calls on me to fill everyone in on a certain issue that we had, that's when I freeze. Or someone else will say, hey, listen, I'm technically the head of my household, but whenever my son or my daughter asks me a question, suddenly I freeze. And different people from different parts of the world were all asking me this question. They were saying, I just freeze. Why? The reason why is because in this scenario, when you're standing up, you're planning. Okay? Unless you're the most popular person out there, you're probably not giving a best man speech every other week. But in this scenario, the fear of speaking while sitting down, this is happening more often. And since it's happening more often, this is a routine issue. And since it's a routine issue, why would you plan? Most of what's going on is impromptu. And that's when I was able to make a stunning realization that I don't think a lot of other people were able to make. Most of speaking issues occur because someone cannot clarify what is bothering them. And a big part of speaking issues happen due to the inability to do impromptu speaking. But you know what was funny about this whole ordeal? These people impromptu speak all the time. We all do. Whenever you're talking to your best friend, are you planning what you're going to say? Absolutely not. Whenever you're having a conversation with a close family member, are you planning what you're going to say? Absolutely not. The reason that people fear impromptu speaking is because currently they're compartmentalizing it as something separate from their day-to-day life. They feel as though that this is a zone that they need to enter, and once they're done doing it, now they go back to their everyday life. The goal with this video is to understand that we're not trying to compartmentalize it, we're trying to assimilate it, okay? So the reason that I wanted to give you that little story was because impromptu speaking skills is highly practical, and it's extremely important because in the real world, you don't always have time to prepare. And the beauty regarding impromptu speaking skills is that if you can learn it, then you can thrive in this scenario, sitting down or standing up. So the first way that you can learn impromptu speaking skills is to check out Toastmasters and volunteer for the table topics section of the meeting. This is when you are being chosen to give 1 to 2 minute talks on random topics. I've posted one of my table topics in this channel. If you do the right search, you'll find it. Actually, better yet, I'll link it right on here if you're watching from the phone or your laptop. And I'll link a few of my other table topics in this channel in the near future. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe right on below. Within table topics, what you're doing is that you have a whole bunch of different people looking at you as you are being given a random topic that you have to create a speech out of. It's only 1 to 2 minutes. Only 1 to 2 minutes. If it was only that easy. It seems very easy from the outside, but when you're actually participating, it requires a lot of tension in your internal world. You're feeling different discomforts. You're thinking that others are looking at you, judging you, but still, you're thriving and moving forward. During table topics, a guest can participate as well. So if you have a Toastmasters club near you, which I'm pretty sure that you do, I'll actually link a Toastmasters Finder in the description box right down below. You could check it out. You could start participating for table topics, and then over time, you're going to build your impromptu speaking skills. That's one way. Another way can be where you don't necessarily want to learn the skill set in front of a whole bunch of people staring at you with their googly eyes. What now? Well, now you want to record videos of yourself where you can either create a private YouTube channel or you could create a public YouTube channel like I've done. And each time that you are recording a video, your main goal is to pick one topic and to speak it into existence from beginning to end. If you mess up, you mess up. It is what it is. You just can't start all the way back over. You just want to keep going from beginning to end, beginning to end, beginning to end. And this is what I call meditation out loud. Because you are focusing, you are improving your speaking skills, and you're boosting your confidence in the process. Because now you're cultivating a skill set that has practical value standing up or sitting down. So the YouTube route is great. The third method is a blend of the first two, where let's say you don't want to speak in front of a huge audience, but you don't necessarily want to do it by yourself. Then what you can do is you can host a YouTube show where you have conversations. And let's say your conversations last from 1 hour to 2 hours. I guarantee you, if you're interviewing the person or just conversing with the person, you are exercising your thinking on feet skills right there and then. Different people that you're talking with are going to bring up different topics. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to play mental gymnastics, going from one to the next to the next. And you're stretching your mind. But the beauty regarding this is that this is already something that you're familiar with. Conversation skills are a form of impromptu speaking skills. But the thing is that a lot of individuals do it unaware. They don't know that they're doing impromptu speaking skills as they're conversing. But remember what we said a little bit earlier in the video. Our goal is not to compartmentalize impromptu speaking skills from the rest of our life. We're trying to integrate it. And the more that we set the intention of integrating and assimilating it into our lives, the more that we start to realize, yo, I impromptu speak all the time, aka conversations. So if you can host a show that you do every now and then what happens is you're exercising impromptu speaking skills, you're working on your social skills, you're creating value for other people, especially if you're speaking to an industry expert or some sort of a person that can create value. And this is a digital asset. It can always give you passive income in the near future. Think like that. And one fourth bonus tip that I'm going to give you is that you already have so many different opportunities where you're in the car ride, for example, or you're in the shower, for example. And what's going on right now is that you could turn those moments of you just going from thought to thought to thought. You start saying a certain phrase and then you just talk about something else like a dummy, which most people do. You could turn those discrete moments of speaking into a continuous moment of speaking. So if you have a long car ride, rather than listening to the music or rather than turning off the music, talking about one point, then just gradually hopping to another point, what you want to do is you want to connect these 2 points, one way, shape, or form. What you cannot be doing is just abruptly going from this point to this point. It has to be smooth. It has to go from here to here in a beautiful motion. So if you're riding in your nice BMW, instead of being like, man, I wonder what Julie is doing from her party, I gotta go to the gym today, you find a way to connect these 2 different points. And during these moments of connections, impromptu speaking skills, muscles skyrocket in the process. So these are just 4 ways how you can learn impromptu speaking skills and you make it a practical part of your life. I do have a prediction for the near future. This skill set is going to be extremely coveted. And throughout my journey with Armani Talks, where I was providing free consultation sessions, I believe that this moment was a gift for me because I was getting market research like plenty of people never had the chance to. I was able to understand that public speaking means different things to different people based off of the part in their life that they are in. So impromptu speaking skills will have tons of practical value, especially as information technology is making the world smaller and smaller and smaller. If you can think fast, if you can think so quick where you can always make your mind agile, you have a competitive advantage in the near future, especially in a world where people can't even focus for more than 8 seconds. If you enjoyed today's video and you want more practical insights like this into communication skills so you can overcome shyness and become much more articulate, so you do not fear public speaking, standing up or sitting down, be sure to check out my book called Speaking Wizard. Within Speaking Wizard, you're going to get a lot of practical insights on how to improve your articulation skills so you can thrive in your professional and personal life. No longer are you having certain ideas and you're scared to express it. Or worse, you have certain ideas and you don't even know how to express it. In the Speaking Wizard, you're going to be given practical exercises, practical strategies, and tools to deliver your presentation in a way which magnetizes others and causes them to act. To grab a copy, check out the description box or the pinned comment right on below. And thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel.